Hi, this is Alan Donald with Keller Williams, and today we have a special guest with us to do our series of talks. And today is Morgan Insley with Blanco Tackabery. She's an attorney that does a lot of probate and estate work. Morgan, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, Morgan Insley. I'm an attorney with Blanco Tackabery, and our law firm is based in the Carolinas. I'm licensed to practice in both South and North Carolina, and I'm excited to be here today to talk with you about estate planning.
And as you mentioned it, the topic for today is estate planning, which is very important for seniors, for children of seniors, and even for young families.
That's exactly right. If you've got minor kids, pets, or are nearing the age of retirement, estate planning can definitely be something that is good for you.
Well, Morgan, as you know, I've been specializing in seniors real estate and in probate real estate. And tell us about estate planning. What is estate planning and how does it differ from probate?
Yeah, it's a great question. So estate planning is getting all of your documents together and making a plan for what should happen either in the event of incapacity or death. And that's different from probate because probate is the actual court-supervised process where you're transferring assets once someone has passed away from them to their heirs or beneficiaries.
Another very common question we get asked all the time is about wills and trusts. What is a will? What is a trust? Are they similar?
So there are some similarities between, a will and a trust. Both documents can be used to decide, what part of your property is inherited by what person or entity and in what way. But there are some significant differences. When you're using a will, that document is not effective until you're actually passed away. And also it's a matter of public record. Versus if you're using a trust, that's a document where you can use it during your life and you can title assets in it during your life, and it also remains private.
But a trust also is valid after you pass away.
Yes, it remains valid after you pass away. It changes a little bit, but it does remain active.
Morgan, do you recommend that people write a will, and why?
Absolutely, I would recommend that people would have a will prepared. Two of the main reasons, one being to avoid conflict between family members because
it always happens.
It happens more often than you think in terms of who's going to handle the estate, and also to waive bond for the personal representative or person who handles the estate.
And there are other reasons, I imagine, to write a will?
Absolutely. One example is if there are minor children involved, that creates a whole nother area where you want to deal with some of the issues that can come up with that.
Don't delay it, write a will. So a question that I also get, in South Carolina, does a will have to be written by an attorney to be valid?
So no, it does not have to be written by an attorney to be valid, but there are other rules that determine whether a will is valid that it's important for people to know, and they may not know without an attorney.
Yeah, so can I write a will on a napkin?
So the material that the will is written on doesn't really matter, but whether it's handwritten versus typed actually does matter under South Carolina law.
Interesting. Now let's talk about trusts. What is the benefit of setting up a trust?
There are a lot of benefits of using a trust versus a will or in connection with the will. One huge benefit is that trusts are largely kept private. They're not a matter of public record. Another great benefit is they allow for faster administration after death versus probate.
Probate can take a long time, right?
It can take a long time. Even the most simple estate can be over a year, sometimes up to 2 years, and that's for a very basic estate. Another benefit of using a trust would be to avoid probate entirely if it is prepared and assets are titled correctly. And also it provides an option for incapacity so that if someone is losing capacity, someone else can easily step in and manage the assets of the trust, and it's a very easy transition.
Is it expensive?
A trust is more expensive to set up, but whether or not someone needs a trust is a case-by-case basis. And so that's one of the things we provide is our opinion of do you need a trust or not.
Right. But you can also avoid having probate expenses and fees.
That's right. That's one of the things we balance against is, are the probate fees for this client going to be more than the cost of setting up the trust?
Right. What other documents are important to have in estate planning? When they come to you for an estate plan, what should they bring?
Yeah, two documents that I almost always recommend are going to be powers of attorney. Those are very important documents for everyone to have as long as you're over 18. There's two main types: durable power of attorney, which manages property and finance, and healthcare power of attorney, which names someone to manage healthcare and medical decisions.
Okay, I've heard the term durable power of attorney. What is the difference between durable power of attorney and power of attorney?
So that's a great question. A long time ago, powers of attorney used to only be effective while the person making them, called the principal, has capacity. So if you lose capacity, then your power of attorney kind of switches off and you can't use it. Well, now, of course, that kind of defeats the purpose of having one. And so to be durable, it means that it continues during incapacity. And so for the most part, every power of attorney these days are durable.
Okay. Another thing that we were talking about is that some people come to you when a loved one is already incapacitated trying to do a power of attorney. Is that possible?
So it's really difficult if someone doesn't have mental capacity to help them without going through the courts. And so in order to prepare a durable power of attorney for someone, they have to have mental capacity. And so if they have a diagnosis or if they're dealing with a lot of mental issues, it can be very difficult at that time to put in place a power of attorney.
So the moral of the story is that do your powers of attorney earlier.
Sooner rather than later, absolutely. It's important to get them done now.
Okay. What are some of the ways that minor children can inherit assets from their parents?
So one way that minor children can inherit assets is in a trust, which can be set up within a will, and you'll get a lot more, creditor protection or protection in the event of a divorce by using a trust. Or there is a great new option where you can name a custodian. And that is because in South Carolina, we have finally passed the Uniform Transfers to Minors Act. It passed earlier this year. And so it's a lot less formal, so it's a great option. If people don't want to deal with the trust option for minor children, now there is option 2. So I'm really excited that this is finally passed. I think we might be the last state to pass this Uniform Act, but it's going to be great for clients.
Morgan, if you don't mind, maybe bring real estate into the equation, see how it fits in the estate planning process?
Of course. So I know that you're representing a lot of real estate clients, and as people might be moving here from other states, it's always a great idea to have your documents reviewed by someone in the state where you're moving to. And so, anyone coming here from another state, I'd be happy to look over their documents, let them know if everything is good to go or if I have any suggestions, and so that could be a really great benefit and one way that real estate definitely comes into play with estate planning.
Okay, great. Well, this has been very instructional, Morgan. Thank you very much for being with us today. If you wanted to leave a couple of messages, a couple of takeaway points from this video, what would those be?
Yeah, so I think estate planning is for everyone. Everyone can benefit in some way from doing estate planning now. And also, don't wait. Go ahead and start that process now. Start thinking about it. I know it's sometimes a difficult thing to want to deal with, but it's better to just get it out of the way, and then you'll feel a lot more comfortable about, everything being in place.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Morgan. If you have any questions, please address them to Morgan Insley, and her contact information is right below. This is Alan, and until the next one.